Those matters are out of our hands. We've let our representatives know what we think. So Dr. Eli comes in to visit with us here. As always, he's a marriage and family therapist. University of Louisville Kent School of Social Work. Good to see you, brother.
Good to see you. It's hot out there, Terry. It really is.
You were sweaty when you walked in.
I know. I apologize. It's just, it's nasty.
Well, you seem calmed down now, cooled down.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
cool. Ready to talk about fair fighting. You know, so many times people come in and they say, I need to learn to fair fight. But they say that, or they talk to their partner, and they really have no idea what it means. So that's something that marriage and family therapists help couples do all around the land.
This is nothing that we can apply to what the members of Congress are doing right now, fair fighting.
Well, probably the way some of them talk over each other and really get into it. Maybe you could, but...
You should never. That's a good example to start with, though. You should never interrupt when you and your partner in your relationship are talking. And let's just say that one of the two people is verbose.
Yeah.
Still, though, interrupting is a sign of disrespect.
And I'm guilty of that too. But there's a lot of research that says people can really only pay attention to your partner for about a 30-second burst before it starts sounding like the Charlie Brown teacher. Wah, 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 wah. Exactly. So
say that again. 30 seconds.
30 seconds is about the attention span, because if you're engaged in a conversation with your partner, whether it's heated or not, after about the 30-second mark, you got your comeback ready in your head, or you got your follow-up question. If your partner goes on and on and on, you're going to lose that moment. So we really teach people what we call kind of active listening. When somebody's got the floor, that is, they're speaking, they speak in 30-second bursts. They let their partner kind of reframe or feed back to them the important part of that conversation. And that is, again, a fair fighting technique. But even before we get to that, Terry, it's like the difference between a criticism and complaint. We get this all the time. And it's okay to fight with your partner. Let me say that. All the research, everything we know about long-term relationships, whether married or in a committed relationship, says fighting is good. It's healthy for a relationship. It's how you fight and how you repair after the fight that's important. So,
all right, excuse me for interrupting, but I'm always curious when a couple says, we've never had a fight, never had a fight. Is it possible that people are just so benign that it's two doormats guarding the same door that they can never, ever disagree on anything?
There are conflict-avoidant couples.
And so they do other things, passive-aggressive activity to make the other person uncomfortable intentionally.
That's right.
Is that the right explanation?
They do that, or they don't have enough confidence in themselves to bring up these issues because, A, they're afraid of how their partner's going to react, or worse, what happens if they themselves get upset or triggered, so they stuff it. We know that's not good. So,
and that comes out sooner or later, doesn't it?
It does. It does. And don't get me wrong. Don't say, when you can avoid conflict, it's great. But in reality, in long-term relationships, you're going to get into it, and that's okay. It's how you get into it. And when you make a criticism of your partner, that's bad, because that's generally global. You always, you never, you do this and that. And when somebody says that to me, I don't know about you, Terry, but I immediately get defensive. So a complaint is very specific. It's focused on the event. It's better when you speak in an I statement, because generally, again, when you use you statements, you're going to put your partner on defense, and it's specific to the event. I'll give you an example. So a criticism would be, you never want to do anything fun with me.
Which can't be correct.
Right.
It cannot be correct when someone says a thing like that.
I hate these all or none statements.
You always do this. You never do that. Right. That's impossible. The only thing you always do is breathe.
You're exactly right. And it automatically puts the other person that's on the end of that on the defense. They're ready, instead of listening to their partner, they're ready for the comeback, for the rebuttal. So they tune out the rest of what you say following the words you always or you never? I know if my wife comes at me like that, I am going to be less apt to be able to hang in there and listen versus if she frames it in the form of a complaint.
So give us some tools to work with.
Sure. A complaint would be something like, when you go out every night with your friends, I feel left out. I feel unhappy we don't spend some time together. I really want to set up time to spend with you. So that is a specific I statement. I feel left out. When you do this, I would like this. So it's specific to the event. It's not global. And again, complaints in relationships, if done the right way, are healthy and actually a predictor of a couple working through their issues. Because it's impossible to be in a long-term committed relationship without having complaints. Nobody is perfect.
Is it okay to tee it up with the words, I feel this when this happens. This is activity that you're engaged in happens.
Sure, but connect it to a feeling word. So many people say, I feel that you should do this or you should do that. I said, that's not a feeling. That's not a feeling word, man.
And that's this tricky word.
Yeah, there's some primary emotions. You know, there's sadness, there's anger. There's some key emotions in there that you got to attach.
How about overlooked? I feel overlooked when you go with your friends without telling me.
That's a perfect one. And most people, though, they hinge on to like anger and frustration, and people think these are really primary emotions. They're not. They're like smoke screens that hide the more vulnerable emotions, like you just mentioned, feeling left out, feeling neglected. And it's like, you know, couples fight about dishes, about going out, but it's really these core themes of, are you there for me? Trust, caring. These are really the meat of most couple issues. And the successful couples are able to get to those, Terry, underneath the surface.
We only have 90 seconds left. So for the woman who's in a relationship where the man won't give her any information back, he just won't talk. She wants him to say, I feel this when this happens, but he's not going to. What can she do to spur that activity without saying, you never talk to me?
Right, because that's the pattern. The more the person shuts down and withdraws, the more the other partner pursues, and we see that pattern over and over, and it's a vicious cycle because, you know, if in this case the woman, she really wants that response out of the partner. The more she pushes, the more he shuts down. So what can she do? She can come in a softened state rather than a harsh state. And what I mean is she can lead with that primary emotion. You know, I'm trying here, and I'm feeling, left out, or I really want to know what's going on with you. Kind of let me in, kind of the "What's up, Doc?" question. And that's much more approachable than "What are you doing?" or "Why do you always listen to the TV instead of talking to me?" Because sometimes one of the things people react to more than the actual content of the message is the tone. And if we get that intense tone, people are hardwired, especially if you've been in a relationship with a partner for a long time, hardwired just to shut off if somebody comes at you in that intense way.
Soften it up.
Soft.
Dr. Eli Karam, his website is elikaram.com. It's Karam, U of L, Kent School Social Work. Good to see you again, brother man.
See you next time, buddy.
Dr. Eli Karam, elikaram.com.